Hey guys, welcome to Paige's podcast. I have my boyfriend Matthew here, and we're gonna be he's gonna be asking me questions about this American government class that I took, and I'm gonna be answering them for him.
It's great to be here. I just kind of wanted to pick your brain on this American government class that I'm thinking about taking.
Yeah, that sounds good. What questions do you have?
So the first broad question I have is basically what does this class primarily go over?
That's a good question. This class is going to be going over a lot about our government and how elections work and different amendments. And to do this, our professor is going to give us the option to do activities, and we get to choose what we want to learn about. And we also get to learn about stuff that everyone in the class is going to be going over.
Okay, wait. So each week you're able to pick different what did you say activities?
Yeah, they're called activities. And basically, it's going to be either a video, a podcast, an article, a quiz. There's so many different options, and there's even comic books that are kind of cool about kind of the government.
Well, what were your top 3 activities for this class?
Oh, that's a good question. So my number one is definitely this podcast called The Line. It kind of goes over the people in the Marines, and it goes over a specific chief named Eddie Gallagher. And basically what he does is he murders someone while at war. So I never really thought about having rules when you're at war and all that stuff. And this podcast kind of goes over what he went through, the trials he went through. It kind of just shows how ruthless that the Marines actually are. And my second favorite is another podcast. It was called Slow Burn. It was about President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, and it was kind of about an affair that they had. I actually didn't know about this just because it was a little bit above my age, but yeah. I learned about it, and it kind of went over the trial process and kind of what happened and loyalties, and it was kind of interesting to see I do remember also reading an article about the age limit of the president. I thought that was cool. It definitely wasn't my favorite, but it kind of made me think about should we have a age limit for the president, just because dementia and all that stuff. Yeah. My third favorite was going to be a documentary called Life on Parole. It was a PBS documentary. I really appreciated it because it touched on the struggle that people on parole faced. Parole is going to be you're in jail, but you're also in the normal world. So you have limits, you have things that you have to do. You have to get daily or weekly drug tests and all that stuff. But it kind of goes over how hard it is to get a job and the struggles that they face. And sometimes people make it through parole, and sometimes it just digs them in a deeper hole. So I kind of really enjoyed that. Overall, I enjoyed all of them because it was kind of topics that I didn't know about. And
so what were your favorite class materials that you learned?
So actually I enjoyed all the class materials that we learned just because it was very relevant, and it has a lot to do with me now because I'm 19, so I'm just now able to vote. So it kind of made me more aware of how to vote, what we should look for, and what kind of elections there are. So I really enjoyed learning about elections and kind of closed primaries, open primaries. I didn't know that.
So what about a project that I heard you talk about?
Yeah. So we had kind of a semester project that we had to do throughout the semester. I actually really enjoyed it because it made us look kind of at our local government officials, our representatives, and all the way out to our who represents us as a country, presidents, vice presidents, all of that. So I kind of got more involved in Chattanooga politics. I actually attended a city council meeting over Zoom. It went over at the one that I attended. A lady actually kind of got up and yelled at them about civil rights and things that I never really thought were that big of an issue in Chattanooga, but able to speak with a friend about different political views, and I kind of took away from that sometimes just because someone believes differently than you do, that it doesn't always mean that they're wrong.
Well, were there any readings that you had to, I guess, read in this class?
Yeah, so we read actually 2 books. We read a Fault Line, I think it was called Fault in Lines or something, and that kind of was more of information, and it kind of like went over amendments and like all these like events that happened. The book was actually called Just Mercy. I really enjoyed reading it, and it taught about the Eighth Amendment, which I really enjoyed being able to read it and kind of like learn about how he felt being put on death penalty and death row, even though he was innocent. It touches on a ton of racial profiling and laws that were broken by those that we trust to protect us. So like the police broke laws in this book. And we learn about kind of like an attorney that fights for him. It kind of just made me look at those attorneys differently, because it just taught me a lot, and what they have to study and what they have to go through just to be able to fight for someone that is innocent.
Well, yeah, I really like all of what you said, and I honestly just think I might take this class now.
Yeah, that's good. I think our time is kind of wrapping up, so do you have any other questions?
Just thanks for inviting me on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. I want to thank you guys for watching, and